So we have Javon here. Javon's been working in workforce for quite some years. He's actually worked for several arms centers. So you have got a chance to help customers or coach customers through a lot of their barriers, and also see some of the benefits, some of the training that we actually just had with Dr. Pace. Just explain a little bit, what your thoughts were on the training and what your thoughts are on Dr. Joe Pace.
I think the benefit of the training is that it's so easy in this line of work to kind of become somewhat burnt out, disenfranchised, kind of just generalize all of the customers you service. The benefit of this training was that it kind of gave you opportunity to kind of look, within yourself and kind of reanalyze how can you be more effective and more beneficial to the customer. Not just, all the problems are the same, all the customers are the same, and all the solutions are the same. It's a way to kind of make it, at least for me, more individualized, and especially kind of focusing on the whole delivery. How do you speak to people, and how, not all of it is based upon verbal. Most of it is just based upon presentation. So I can be sarcastic frequently, not with customers, but in my personal life. And the person you're talking to, they may not receive it as sarcasm. They may receive it as you being disrespectful, or it may kind of turn that situation to a whole explosive episode or something you really want to avoid. I have learned over the last couple of years working here that not only us, but also our customers sometimes aren't able to express what's going on completely in a full verbal fashion. So, they may come off as being angry or annoyed or short, but there's always a story behind that. So it's not necessarily you, but they're kind of annoyed at the situation. So if you kind of talk to them or kind of address it kind of in a short or a curt manner, it could totally spiral into a really, really bad situation. And that's really important, just kind of be really cognizant of the whole delivery of the help or the advice you're trying to give the customers.
Yeah, it's kind of funny for me too, because looking at the term mental health, it almost has a negative connotation to it.
Yeah.
But Dr. Pace was really instructing us how to, have healthy thoughts, think healthy and think in the right way to get particular outcomes. What was one of the most important topics that stuck out for you in the training?
I think it goes back to the impact of presentation. And it's funny how visual was 55% of the whole makeup of everything. So just how your position when you're talking to someone, their position, if the person's kind of slouched over or kind of standing and pacing, that can kind of give you a strong indicator of where they are at in terms of their anger or frustration, and how can you best approach the situation. So if a VIP or customer comes in and they're kind of pacing, they're kind of angry, their stance is kind of they're kind of closed off, you kind of come in like a tyrant. If you kind of reciprocate, crossing your hands or pointing or yelling, like I said before, that can totally take that situation and turn it into really almost somewhat violent or volatile, interaction.
When we're looking at cognitive behavioral training or psychology, working in the industry for so long, how do you think this type of training, if you had it in the beginning, could have helped you, be a better case manager?
I would say it's funny, we're called employment advisors, but frequently in terms of my own personal growth or my own personal goals and aspirations, I kind of will downplay them or not have clear instructions as to how to execute them, but yet in my job I'm expected to help folks kind of plan out their path. So I think if we would have had this when I first started, or if we would have did it a couple of years back, a couple months back, it totally would have, I think, changed our delivery to the customers, but also the impact in terms of how we're able to help them. So something as simple as the topic in regards to the daily affirmations, something as simple as saying, I will find employment. When I do find my job, I know that I'll be successful. It would be, I'll be dependable, reliable. Just kind of speaking it and making it kind of your daily routine. Frequently goals, sometimes you think about them, but they're kind of off in the distance. But if they're kind of part of your daily part of your daily routine, kind of that daily mantra. It really kind of like, puts into the atmosphere, and kind of also it becomes you, like, it becomes a part of your daily speech, not just something that's kind of off in the distance. It becomes, at least for me, more tangible. I know that every day, if I recite this, that I'm looking constantly towards fulfilling those goals.